Hello again. I hope that you're having a wonderful on-passive day. I know that I am. This week I spent a lot of time listening to what Mr. Mufara had said on the last roundtable, and wow, let me tell you, there was a lot of good contextual information that he put out there. He did mention some specifics about, new websites and the Hyderabad office and such like that. But what got me was when he started talking about the pre-launch expiring, in the coming phases, and how we allowed, or that allows, or the beginning of OnPassive allowed some of us to pre-position ourselves in an up-and-coming tech giant. Consequently, a great many of us joined OnPassive with the hope of being more successful in business than we were previously. Now, I guess that's to say that in the beginning, the financial aspect was something that attracted most of us. Now, that doesn't make us bad people, but it does highlight our need for an ability to provide for ourselves and for those that we love. And that's a big reason for the creation of OnPassive. It's not, if not the main one. So through OnPassive, OnFounders, and perhaps to a lesser extent, those that join after we open publicly, are going to be able to better provide for their family's needs while being a part of something that's a whole lot bigger than ourselves. In fact, Mr. Mufara actually told us that financials were something that, quote unquote, kind of triggered him personally in a way, but not so much as it regards profitability, so to speak. So this is to say that wealth generation for his family or any other family was never the goal, because our dreams are much, much bigger than that. And for this reason, creating OnPassive came out of a knowing that there was a lot better way to do business online. And the interest was in creating a company that would fix a broken system, the one that we've all tried to use before. It's a system that's been corrupted, a system that's unfair, and Mr. Mufara makes no bones about that. So he understood, even in the beginning, when we needed to get some oomph into it, that we had to outgrow what I consider humble beginnings, because it wasn't about the mechanism of finance or profit, right? We weren't based on profits and products only. It was not and is not about the cold calculation of financial structure, so to speak. And this can be seen with the aspects of products in Obless and Owomen, for instance, that are purely humanitarian, or even in Academy in terms of the regard for a desire to have a genuine impact on humanity, which is the overall goal of OnPassive. Now, if we take a look at our vision statement, that was written, I think, more than 3 years ago, and it hasn't changed. It says, as you can see here, OnPassive is the ultimate, complete, and unique digital marketing platform that ensures everyone succeeds, regardless of their backgrounds or ability, by offering the simplest environment with the highest standards and the most value while sustaining the benefits of a global stimulus plan. Now, that's very, very important, and I'll tell you, that's something right now that the world needs. OnPassive is the stimulus, right, that's needed for an ailing global economy, because it's bringing life-changing things to the world. Now, how can we make bold statements like that without financials to back it up, right? So yeah, great wealth is going to be generated. But rather than filling the coffers of the elite, so to speak, it'll be largely decentralized through the founders and members, right? But we're all going to benefit. The vast majority of us are going to benefit passively. And I say passively because it's passive technology. It's passive work, passive AI, replication, automation, passive, right? That's the name of the game. To passively reap financial reward, to fill our tanks first, in a way, and be able to give to those around us out of our excess so as to lift them up as well. Unfortunately, if you don't get that, if you don't see that or believe that, you're still asleep. Sorry. Like everything else we do, though, the pay structure is going to be used to accomplish that, and it's going to be very dynamic. And that's to say that it's going to change from time to time, but we'll never have to worry about how it changes exactly. We'll just see the changes reflected in the explanations that we're seeing and the figures. And on passive is not going to come right out and say what the pay structure is or how it's changing. Why? To protect it. It's tough to hit a moving target, right? Well, believe it or not, there are those that want to get their hands on it. But we can say confidently that it is a hybrid plan, meaning that we'll see revenues consisting not only of straight commissions, but there will be bonuses and such, built-in structures that are put in and they're automatically triggered for our benefit. So the pay plan of this type, the one that OnPassive has, is also going to distance us from any other model or other business that might operate solely for profit. This also helps us and those looking at us to focus on value and to make a positive impact on humanity at the global level, which at the core is the spirit of OnPassive. When we consider all these things, it's easy to imagine that we'll be the biggest single pay structure in the world. Because of that, and because of our business model, we're able to give out more because our operating costs are going to be lower. Our overhead and the usual level of maintenance required by IT companies is going to be lower than other companies simply because we have the advantage of AI, automation, and starting from scratch. That's huge. Everything we've created was built from the ground up with the newest technologies, and we own it. Cutting edge stuff, some of which didn't even exist when we started. We have no one else's work, no one else's software, right? No secondhand stuff. Nobody else owns any piece of this company or has any controlling interest, just waiting to suck us dry like the robber barons that Dr. Williams talked about the other day. As a result, we don't have any third-party players that we're beholden to. Everything we do is digitized and AI-driven. We have better tech and more innovative futures. Because of this, and because of the AI, integration, and automation, we need fewer resources in terms of infrastructure and even human resources. Again, because of our heart, intelligence, and a superior business model, we have an entire digital ecosystem even before we open publicly. So we don't have to allocate resources to its development. It's done. So now we're focusing on creating the value through adding more disruptive features and functionality, and by creating new technologies for products through the innovation labs that we have. And all of these are to our superior advantage. And all of this brings us superior financial reward simply because we have more value than anyone. We have newer and or better products at a lower cost. But the real beauty is our ability to tout our AI with heart prowess, so to speak, by using all of what we are to raise the human condition, to lift humanity. This is to say that OnPassive, as it prospers, so prospers the founders, and so prospers the members and humanity at large. So, founders, love where you're at right now and bloom where you're planted, because I'm telling you, it's going to get a lot better, and OnPassive's a whole lot bigger than you think. We've already seen some of the branding campaigns, right? But the coming phases, they've got marketing campaigns in them. And when we add those to what we have and the sales start to roll, every time we're comfortable with the available products, more products are going to be rolling out. I mean, we'll have multiple innovation labs, digital and physical. Included among the physical stuff are innovation labs with mechanicals. You've heard that word, right? For those that may not know, what we're referring to are the mechanical engineers, often called mechanicals. Now, these highly skilled people design, develop, build, and test. Boom. That's what they do. They deal with anything that moves, from components to machines to the human body. And they're smart. Mechanical engineering is one of the broadest engineering disciplines. Now, more and more, mechanicals are beginning to apply biological principles to mechanical design. And that steps up the game, right? And OnPassive has our mechanicals targeting different sectors in the bio industry. That, my friend, is cutting edge stuff. But there's also the stuff that Mr. Mufara loves to stretch his own brain with. The AI, the 3D, VR, metaverse. Man, these are the ambitions that are going to be driving emerging super advanced technologies. Whew. Can you imagine the kind of labs that these things and this stuff is coming out of? Our scientists and researchers are in all four corners of the world and continually scouring the technological landscape for new ideas to work on. OnPassive will never stop providing value through an endless stream of products. Eventually this year or next, we will see products, multiple products, coming out every month from those various labs. Remember what Ash told us a while back? That along with the new, never-before-seen products, we're also going to be developing or redeveloping existing products, right, needed by humanity that we all need, right, to make them better, literally replacing them with more advanced, less costly versions. Man, I mean, everything OnPassive is doing is to simplify and to raise the quality of life, to take care of the environment, and to bless humanity in a fair, transparent, and ethical structure. OnPassive, right? The words that come to mind for me when I want to describe what OnPassive is, I use the words conscious, benevolent, and multidimensional. And I really can't overstate how big this is, how big OnPassive is. The paradigm shift that is OnPassive has created a movement for our founders and for all those who join later. A movement that's giving us a way to fix the broken system through compassionate restoration of health and balance to humanity and the environment through the epic scale decentralization of finance and technology through benevolent intent. And that's just us at the foundation. What Mr. Mufara shared with us earlier this week is going to be looked back on for reference in a number of years, just so that we can try to define the magnitude of the start that OnPassive had. We don't even know how to define OnPassive. I mean, ain't that a hoot, right? There's nothing accurately that we can compare it to, but we can confidently say that OnPassive is the gateway to a new era. Founders are the keepers of that gateway. In Mr. Mufara's words, that's a big deal. So if you're not engaged, get engaged. Work together. You can trust the process. Enjoy the journey. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Mr. Mufara and OnPassive have come onto the scene for just such a time as this. There is no more qualified stimulus for what the world needs than what we have right here in OnPassive, especially with the founders. And if you can't see it or you don't want to be a part of it, ask for your money back and move on. We have got more than enough technology, intelligence, and support to make it happen. But it's not going to happen solely for profitability. We will simplify and raise the quality of life, take care of the environment, and we're going to bless humanity in a fair, transparent, and very ethical way. Correction to the corruption? Oh yeah. Make life better for humanity? You bet. It's a done deal. And for those that may not know, here's our logo. You can see the meaning. It's got meaning. And this was actually created about the same time the vision statement came out. Now, the door to the founder position has been permanently closed, but you can check out the websites listed in the description box below to learn a little bit more about what I'm talking about and more about OnPassive. You'll also be able to become a member or able to become a member. Man, that's a tongue tire there once we open publicly. But until then, please know that we wish only blessing and blessing upon you and your entire family. Thank you.